Welcome to the Improve and Have Fun podcast. My name is Paul V. Perez, and on this podcast I work on improving myself while having fun along the way with the hopes of encouraging you to do the same. I do so by documenting my life and interests. And on this episode I'm interviewing DHQ Charm. She is the first Dancehall Queen I've had on the podcast. And this is someone I've known for like a 10 to 15 year period. To tell you that I met her like when she was like 16, 17. We talk about it on the podcast. But this young lady, she is so skilled in dancehall that she has won trophies for the Dancehall Queen style, and also for kind of like the shata moves that the guys do. Like she can dance, she can do the girl stuff and she can do the guy stuff, and she's won trophies and awards for each. So super talented. Listen to her story, how she's basically grown up in dancehall and all the people that she's kind of come across, really skilled dancers that she would meet like in her neighborhood, in her borough of Brooklyn, New York. Let's go ahead and get into it. But how are you today?
I am good. I am pumped up about this podcast. I can't wait to share it with the world.
Absolutely. This is your story.
This is actually my first podcast with anybody. Actually, I've never even did a radio. I don't think I did a radio anything yet. This is my first podcast, so yeah.
Well, it's going to be the first of many for you, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that you have a lot to share. I know that you have a lot of opinions, and you've done a lot, you know? I think the first time I saw you, in preparing for this, I was just trying to think, when was the first time I saw you? I don't know if it was in Club Mohegan in the Bronx, or if it was a party in the city where it was like downtown, and there was like a bunch of, like it was like you, and then it was like Water Boots and a bunch of other dancers. So I don't know when was the first time I saw you, but I know it was a while ago.
Yeah, I definitely think that it was probably the Bronx. I'm
recording too. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it was probably the Bronx, because that's where, besides Brooklyn, that's where home was to us, was the Bronx. I mean, we eat, sleep, and shit in the Bronx, to the point where every weekend we was literally in the Bronx more than we was in Brooklyn. So,
really?
Yeah, it was that.
I always get the vibe that Brooklyn always had the parties. You guys were always in Brooklyn.
Yeah, well, Brooklyn definitely had vibes and everything, but for some reason, home just felt like the Bronx back in the day. Back in the day, I'm talking about as far as the parties go, because a lot of the dancers that would come up for Jamaica, the first place they would go is the Bronx. They wouldn't go to Brooklyn. Yeah, like, because they had Scarrett Boy, you know, remember the Dancing Twins? Everybody was in the Bronx.
But for me, like, all the dancers were in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, yeah. Yeah, I think all the best parties were split between two. The Bronx definitely had some parties that.
I think Brooklyn had the better parties.
Really?
I know what you're saying.
Really?
For dancers.
Right.
Yeah, for dancers.
I guess for more pasa reasons, it was definitely the Bronx.
No.
I felt like it was the Bronx.
Really?
Yes, because there was a lot of things we couldn't do in Brooklyn that we could do in the Bronx, like climb on stuff. I remember when Killer from Rude Boys, we fell through we fell through the roof. Like, we can't do that in Brooklyn. But definitely Bronx and Brooklyn were it. But me and Katie was always in the Bronx. Always in the Bronx. So.
And that's been like your dancing partner has been Katie, and have you danced with her for many years? And now is it like kind of on and off, or like you guys are kind of doing your own thing?
Well, right now, me and Katie are doing our own thing. She is a mom now, too. She's into more yoga and day trading.
That's really
she still does the dancing thing, but day trading is her thing because her child's father is a dancer as well, Anointed, and he travels he been on America's Got Talent and all over. So he's always in Cali. So definitely, he's also doing day trading too. So she kind of gravitated off that. I mean, when we still want to link up, we do, because we're still like best friends. It's been over a decade. You can't really find two females still together, plus dancing, that are still friends. Like, we're not even friends, we're family. So, you know, when we link up, we link up. But I feel like dancing took over my life, and, you know, she's more focusing on being a mom. Even though I'm a mom too, she's more day trading, yoga. She does Dharma, so that is Katie now.
And okay, so of course, with all my guests, I, uh, I consider myself a curious person, and you're so talented. You know what I mean? And like in terms of you know how to do the female dancing, you know how to do the shoutout dancing, and but going back, like where are your parents from? And well, let's start there, and then I just wanted to ask you, what was it that got you into dancing? Like, why dancing?
Well, mom, I was born in Barbados and raised there till I was like 3 years old, and then moved here. My whole entire family is from Barbados.
Okay.
My mom came up here and she got into ballroom dancing.
Wow.
So West Indian people, especially Bajans, they have these big ballroom dancing clubs, and I kind of grew up in that light, but I never really liked it. She tried to force me to it, but I never really took it.
And this was in Brooklyn?
Yeah, she was into the ballroom, the salsa, the cha-cha, the mamba, all of that, yeah. Also, she's a seamstress, so she makes dresses, things like that. But I started elementary school out here, and I got into the ballet after-school program, and that's where I started from. So,
let me ask, is this something that your mom put you into, or like you were like, Mom, I want to do that?
well, no, I was young, and I seen that they were having dance after-school dance program, and I wanted to join. And from there, dance kind of like took over my life. My mom, I always wanted to be one of those, I wanted her to be one of those strict dance moms, like had me audition here, but our relationship wasn't never like that. It was not close at all, but she was there. She's a really good mom. I'm the total opposite of her. She's the quiet, want to help everybody, and I think that's where I get that from her. I don't really know my dad.
Okay.
He passed away last year due to cancer.
I'm sorry.
I'm dealing with it. The fact that I never grew up with him. He never really got to see me do anything, or my brother. But
And was he here or was he back at home?
yeah, he never came to the U.S. I was up here with my grandmother, my aunt, cousins, and my uncle. That's who I grew up with. So from the dancing and the after-school program, I was doing ballet. I was doing jazz. I was getting into the modern, contemporary.
And what age was this?
This had to be from kindergarten up, because I started elementary school, kindergarten. So from that, when I went to middle school, I joined a marching band. And I started off on the flag section, and then I gravitated to the horn section. So I know how to read music, and I know how to play the mellophone, because I was in the band for like 8 years. I was a band head. I wanted to go away to Hampton. I wanted to go away. North Carolina A&T was my school. Yeah, I'm still into band stuff. That's why I kind of incorporate a lot of my moves. Kind of is like dancehall mixed with majorette style dancing. If you ever really pay attention, yeah.
Really? Like, I don't know anybody else who's doing that. That's really cool.
So, band took over my life. Everything was band. We went everywhere. I was with them when we won our first nationals in Washington, D.C. We did the inauguration for Obama. We was everywhere. Good Morning America, the band. We were everywhere. And that was my life before I started getting into, at 16, my mom started letting me go to parties, so I started getting into the whole dancehall thing.
Was a band and dancehall happening at the same time?
I think it kind of started coming out of, like, going more towards the 9th, 10th grade, when I was able to go to parties, like Empire Skating Ring and stuff like that. That's when I started getting into the dance hall and hearing all that.
What was it about? Like, you're totally from Barbados. You've been dancing since as a kid. So what was it that attracted you to dancehall?
I think it was watching the videos, like watching Sean Paul. Yeah. The videos, but especially watching the dancers in the video, the beat and the flow. And watching the females, the way how they was working. I'm Caribbean, so, everything is with soca. And everything is fast.
Barbados coming from.
But, yeah, so I'm also into the soca. But I got so heavy into the dance hall, people started thinking I was Jamaican. That's how serious it was. And how I actually came out to get a little bit more known. Katie she's actually the original first lady of Ground Zero Dancers. And then I was underneath Water Boots. So I was under his Boots Entertainment. He kind of mentored me, started teaching me moves and stuff.
But Water Boots wasn't like ground zero, right? Like he was his own. Like yeah, I mean they run together, but like he was his own thing.
Entertainment. Yeah, Water Boots had a very big name. I mean, he still got his notoriety now, but he had a big name back then. Battle dancer. Yeah.
No.
He's a big dude. He was moving. You know, he always had the water boots. I started wearing water boots too at one point. So like, like that's what kind of pushed me more. And then I kind of started seeing Katie, and she was the first female besides Nika French that I started seeing do the walkie slide. And I'm like, yo, she's dope. And I don't even know what happened, like what forced me and Katie to become a force. But then we started linking up. She left Ground Zero after a while. I left Water Boots, and I wanted to do my own thing. But he was always still family. And me and her created Deadly Alliance. And that's how Deadly Alliance came about. It started running all over the place.
And getting, like at that time, there were other girl crews and stuff like that. But, like you guys were so good with the shadow dancing, I think, because like the other girls, they were kind of doing it, right? But like you guys were like so sharp, and like you were so sharp, and you're so like quick and agile, you know. But yeah, like you definitely stood out. I'm not blowing smoke, like, 'cause like, at that time there were other groups, like you said, there was Nika French, and there was a good from the Bronx, yeah. But like you were the ones, in my opinion, like I said, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm just stating, I'm not hating. Right. That kind of like, wow, like these girls they dance better than the dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it got to the point where me and Katie watched and she's Jamaican. She's from Jamaica. So, and her cousin danced with Mitri Icon and the Icon family in Long Island. So she got a lot of her moves and stuff from her cousins and stuff.
And she's related to them.
Yeah, so Mitri was a big dancer back in the day. He's back in the day from Bingy days. So with all of that, me and her was more focused on, I mean, it's nothing to split and roll all over the floor, but we always wanted to make sure we kept up with the boys. And that's where we got our respect from. Yeah. Because I feel like once you're able to keep up with the boys, that's where your respect will come from. Like, people would respect your dancing style, where you come from. I mean, like I said, anybody could head top, even though head topping and doing DQ tricks is hard. You have to be able to master it without hurting yourself.
It's coming from an expert.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my few incidents. Katie broke her arm one time with me. We went through it. I mean, I was getting daggered out the window from Scarab Boy, and I had a hole punched in my leg. I still have the scar now. This is way back in the day. So we have battle scars. But for some reason, I grew up kind of tomboy, and that was due to being in a band. Because, you know, when you're in a band, there's discipline. And I ended up being a drum major, so I was really disciplined. I knew how to stand still for like a whole hour or 2 hours, because that's what they did to us.
Don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah, like.
Don't breathe.
Yeah, we couldn't scratch, we couldn't move, so.
Don't scratch your nose.
She was actually a tomboyish type of female too, so we both clicked together, and she was always smaller than me and flexible. So I always used to bend her up in different positions, and, you know, we called them punchlines because that's what the flex dancers call it. And we used to incorporate all of that. And that's what made Deadly Alliance stand out so much from everybody else. Everybody knew who, like, the logo that we had was a skull. And it was a pink, and it had spiders around it. So it was like, even though we're girls, we still mean business when it's time to mean business.
I think with you guys, the thing was as well, like, you know, it's not like two girls that just saw videos and started dancing. Like, you guys were like around, like I used this term before, like a murderer's row of like some of the best dancers at the time. Like, you guys were hanging out with the Ground Zero guys. You guys were hanging out with Water Boots, like you said, like with Bingy, like.
All that.
Yeah, like she was related to the Icon family. Like, so basically, like, you guys were just like really like in it. Like, I always say, like, let's say you met a girl today and she wanted to go ahead and, like, you know, do like some of the DHQ stuff that you can do, like that B Randy can do. Like, the best thing to do is immerse yourself amongst these other people like yourself, like a B Randy, like another people teaching DHQ classes, like just living it, being it all the time, and then that's how you can, like, the learning curve is shorter. as opposed to like kind of just watching videos over the years and going out a little bit, taking a class every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, things definitely change. I'm 33 now. Katie is 31. Yeah, they're 31. And
I'm surprised you said it because, like I said, I was
I'm 33, guys. I'm 33.
A very sexy 33.
My daughter's 9, so I literally been in this since I was in junior high school.
Like 15.
Yeah, 16, 17, 18 years old.
16, 17.
Yeah, so we definitely, I try to install things I got from the past in the new generation dances because I feel like they got it so easy. Like, I feel like things are just handed to certain people now.
Like I said, the way you talk, with all like the guests, like the way you're telling your story is like a movie, you know?
Yeah,
so it's like playing this whole movie.
It should be a movie. I wish they would have made a movie out of me and Katie's experience because
they still can. I mean, you guys are super young.
It's so crazy where we came from, like, and then me doing the band stuff, and people would have never guessed that I was a band head. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it helped. Like
it helped.
It helped, like with your dancing. It
right.
helped. It helped, like.
Right.
There's things that you learned in band that actually still to this day.
That I still take. Definitely, like, I feel like the new generation has it so easy. Like, right, me and Katie used to actually wait for Pasa Pasa DVDs to come out. Dirty Fridays. That was literally... Friday nights was Flex in Brooklyn at 9 o'clock. When that was over, pop in the DVD, and we would literally write. We had a book of dances. Me and Katie used to make our own dance routines before we even started making steps. It was just routine this. We had names for different routines. So when we were in the club, we just say the name, and then we just bust a step. We had routines where we would literally sit and watch these things. That's the only way we knew what was new in Jamaica, what new dance was out for that week. Because every day they was making something new. Until finally, me and Katie ended up on the Pasa Pasa DVD.
That's dope.
You know? We was on a DVD with...
Like, I mean, like, you guys went to Jamaica and you showed up... you guys were in Jamaica and showed up on the DVD? Kind of.
It was a time in the Bronx.
Oh, they had the Pasa Pasa in the Bronx.
Yeah, I think they had the Dirty Fridays in the Bronx. Daima was there.
I think I went to that.
Yeah, I remember. I still have the picture on my photo bucket. Daima was there. DHQ Letitia was there. Nika French was there. Me and Katie was there, and a whole bunch of dancers. And we ended up, that DVD actually went to Jamaica, and we made it on the cover of the DVD, which was super freaking dope.
Yeah,
you know,
huge.
so
at
like
that time, these DVDs, like I said, this was like the kind of like the dancers. I want to say Bible, but it was the dancers' homework. Like whenever one of these DVDs come out, you would buy these DVDs, take them home with your crew, watch the DVD, do the moves, so you could just kind of be up to date on the new tunes, on the new moves, and on the dancers. That some of those dancers, you go to Jamaica now, you can see a Colo Colo, you can see a John Hype. You know, these guys are still around too.
Right. Yeah. So with that being said, like the new generation now, I respect them so much because they do work hard. It's just that I wish they would have got to see the grind that we came from. Like, it was never, let's meet up in the studio. It was, this party is this weekend. What are we wearing? We need out. That's back in the day. We had the chains. That's when chains, we always had who had the better chain. And, you know, the suspenders. Everybody got matching outfits. So it's just like, you know, I wish they would see the dirt and grind we came from and how hard it was to get the video man's attention, because at that time it was not, you know, Twin City come to the class at a certain time and record it and then you throw it on social media. You know, matter of fact, there was no Instagram back then. No. There was no Facebook back then. It was MySpace. MySpace had no video. They had top 5. You know what I'm saying? So we came from an era where we didn't even get the notoriety through social media. We got the notoriety through YouTube. Everything went on YouTube. Twin City put the videos on YouTube. I forgot the name of that big videographer that used to come out here from Jamaica. I forgot his name. His dancehall logo, dancehallreggae.com. And then there was Scrappy. Was it Scrappy? Yeah. That used to, you know, once you got on a DVD with him, it was just like, yo, you were the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I wish they got to see where we came from, because one thing that hurts me today is that a lot of people, when they think of New York City dancehall, because I feel like New York City and Jamaica they're the same, what we all do in dancehall, but it's two different worlds. New York City has their own world, and Jamaica has their own world. Even though we respect the culture, and that's where it came from, New York City is its own empire. And when people think of New York City dancehall, they leave out so many people, and the new generation don't even know who you are. I could go to somebody else's class that teach dancehall now and be like, well, I'm Charm, and some people be like, well, who are you? And they not really giving these people the knowledge that they need. You know what I'm saying? They're giving them the knowledge from the Jamaican, but we have our own history here too. It's not just Jamaica that has history. We have history here too. So you got to install that. This is why I always move the way I move, because you have to install that in these people as well and let them actually get a chance to see both worlds and how you came about and how did Bling come about and Pyrotex come out and Cookie and Tara and Water Boots and Bugsy and all these people that they don't know about. Because let Ground Zero walk up in Wendell class today, people are going to be like, who are you? I'm like, well, they've been around longer than he has.
Well, yes. I never actually thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way. I really never thought of it that way. I also think, though, that a lot of the younger folks now, which is encouraging, they are just coming from everywhere. This is not a thing where these are all New Yorkers. I'm talking about these people are coming from the world over to come take classes here. So and to think when we were doing, when we were going to these parties all the time, we were in our crews and all this stuff. They were babies. They were they're your daughter's age, so they're not really watching all the DVDs and you go to parties and you see people in our age group are older and they're like, oh shit, I remember you, and they always big you up. But the ones that are coming up now, like I said, they were bambinos. They didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's definitely like that now. One thing that I would say is that I love how New York City dancehall is coming out into the world now, but I just wish that more vets were taking it seriously. I mean, they don't find that as intriguing no more. I mean, they go to parties still, but they not really into it like I am. Some of us vets are not really pushing like they used to before, because they don't really I've talked to some vets, they don't really respect the whole studio thing.
But the thing is, and I've said this years ago. I would love, I personally would love, if a Water Boots would teach. I would love, if a Ground Zero would teach. Because, I just feel like they have so much to offer, not just moves. If you're talking about the history of New York, I swear, I never thought of it from that angle. They're teachers of that, I could, like I said, we're just spitballing here, right? Like a Scarab Boy, he can come and, speak. He doesn't even have to teach dance. Just come and speak and give us a history of the Bronx, and a Water Boots could come and give us a history, or Bingy could come and give us a history of Brooklyn, or Kevin Crown, there's so much that they have to offer, because they have 2 decades almost of knowledge, or probably even more, since they've probably been doing this since they were kids themselves. But I've never thought of it from that angle.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really great.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you, I consider myself, it seems weird, but an underdog. And a lot of people feel like I don't get the notoriety and the respect I deserve. I don't know why it's like that when it comes to me. I don't know. I've done battles, dancehall battles, and I've literally reached the ending of the battle, the only female, and this was 2 years in a row.
Please tell us some of the DHQ competitions that you've won, some of your titles.
Well, I went to, me and Katie together have won dance competitions together, like the Jiggy Overflow, we did that. My mom has all my trophies, but when I went solo, and Katie kind of fell back with the dancing, I kept going. I took a year off when I had my daughter in 2010, and I fell off. I was just what is going on? But it's normal, because I'm going through being a mom now. So when I started coming back out, one of the people that I rate a lot is Bling, and he kind of helped me get back to that level.
Former podcast guest, super nice guy.
Yeah, so Bling is one of my favorite male dancers, and I'm kind of like the male version of him because he created a monster. Yeah. He mentored me for a short period of time, and
it's kind of like a BC and AD right now. Right. So BC is before your daughter, AD is after your daughter. So this is after your daughter?
Yeah, now this is after my daughter, and he.
These are different chapters in your life.
Yeah, I just got so many different chapters. Like they should write a book. And yeah, so like fast forward a little bit. I got up one day and I said, "Yo, I want to do this Minnesota Dancehall Queen." It was one of the most legit Dancehall Queen because not every Dancehall Queen title is legit. If it didn't have anything to do with Big Head Promotions, Trinity C Promotions, there are some titles that are legit, and then there's some that just give away titles just because they had a competition. But Minnesota was connected through International Dancehall Queen. Trinity C worked next to Big Head, who is the CEO, who was the CEO of International Dancehall Queen, because they don't have it no more. I said, you know what, this is a legit competition. I need to fly out there. I got my money up. I was with my ex at the time. He helped me get my money up, and I flew out there by myself. I didn't know what to expect. She told me it was 3 rounds, get your mix done, outfits, and I did exactly that. And I went, I bust my ass, and I got first place and a trip to Jamaica to compete in the International Dancehall Queen competition. So just to experience not only being crowned an official dancehall queen, because some people got more than one title. I don't need more than one. I just needed one. Just to even go to Jamaica and compete in the hardest competition ever.
And now in Jamaica, this has like dancers from around the world, not just in Jamaica. I'm talking about like from Russia, from France, or from this place and that place.
Yeah, these females are bad, okay? Do you hear me? Like, these females practice every day to get ready for this one big competition, which it kind of throughout the year is what the female dancers was getting ready for. Now I feel like there's nothing to get ready for. Like, these states have little competition, but when International Dancehall Queen used to be around, it was something to get ready for, to practice, to lab, to get your mind right, to make sure your weight is on point, to go down there. That was the hardest competition. That stage is mind-blowing.
And like, how did you do? How did you do in Jamaica?
First of all, my first year, I felt like I didn't do so good, but it was my first year, so I literally went by the rules. People in Jamaica that compete have an advantage because it's their hometown. They have their people there. Mind you, we don't bring people. We buy ourselves, so it's really hard. It kind of could get a little biased because, you know, people outside of Jamaica have won, but, like, I've witnessed, like, a lot of females feeling like, oh, well, you know, I'm not from there. That's why I'm not going to win. But I didn't even care about that after a while. I just cared about being on the same stage with Tall Up, B. Randy, all these females. Like, it was like something to brag about because a lot of these females will never experience that because they don't do it anymore. They don't do International Dancehall Queen no more. So just to be in Mobay, my first time in Jamaica, this is what I'm doing. It was like for dance, it was like mind blowing. I got homesick after a while. I was ready to go home, but like just to go to the parties and, you know, do the interviews, it was really fun. But when I came back, now I'm an official dancehall queen. So, you know, I was really proud of myself for even doing that. You know what I'm saying? By myself. Like, I flew to Minnesota by myself, met up with Trinity C, and she definitely took care of me. Big up to Trinity C in Canada. Minnesota. That's where she lived. And my career I think it went up and down, and then it just shot up from there. You know, I started working really, really hard. I dropped the baby weight, and, you know, I started linking up with certain dancers, trying to get back into that male style dancing, and I met up with Bling, and he was helping me, and I don't know what happened. A switch just went off, and boom, Charm was back in the game again, and I didn't stop. I've been going since then.
And you have classes still, and your classes always have a lot of people in them, you know? So, I mean, for me, that's success, you know what I mean? Right. For somebody that used to do it back in the day. Without classes. And then you did what you did in terms of the DHQ. You won that. you linked up with Bling, and now you're having classes regularly. You have a lot of people in those classes, and like you're really making things happen. Like for a vet, like I do not know any other vets right now that from the people that I grew up with that have full classes of people.
Right. So with that, let's just go back a little bit. I definitely did do Yamina. She.
By what I mean by vet is somebody who's like 15 to 20 years. Yeah. Because we have a lot of like great people that I've had on this podcast. They've been dancing for a while, but in terms of like kind of like always in the scene and stuff like that for an over a 15-year period, that you don't see too much.
So basically, they started. In New York City, we don't really have much dance hall competitions like they do outside of New York. So this one girl, she started dance hall, battle NYC dance hall, Yamina. And the first time I did it, I only went to go support Pyrotex and ended up joining the competition. I had no routine. I had no music. I did not practice. I did not do nothing. He said, I'm going to let the music play and you dance. And I had to go up against about 6 or 7 people before I got to the last person was Bling. I ended up battling the person that trained me. And I didn't win that night. I think I got second place.
Okay, let's just be clear here. You got second place for a competition that you weren't even in. They just asked you to come and dance. You beat everybody else, and you got to the end, the final boss in the game, and you came out at second place. Yeah. Let's just be clear about that.
And I felt good because this is the person that Bling is a dope dancer. Like he's really, really dope. And it was like 2 dogs going at it at the time when we were like battling each other.
You're a competitive person. Yeah. So like you have this competitive in you already. Yeah.
Right. So like I definitely was. I was kind of upset that I didn't get to win because I worked so hard to get to the end, but I ran out of breath and I was just like, the fact that I even made it this far to you, to Bling,
purposely being in the competition,
like, come on,
music, without no costume.
Like, I didn't need all that. He just played the music and I went, and then that was the first year. Then the second year, I went to go watch again, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try this one more time. And I went to do the same thing again, the 1 versus 1. And again, the same thing happened. I was just blowing past everybody, blowing past. The only female one-on-one, blowing past everybody. I mean, even some of the Pyrotex, I blew past everybody. And I made it to Wendell. And that's why I ended up battling. And it kind of, a lot of people saying they thought I got, cheated on because I could not breathe at the end. Like, I put in so much work, I could not breathe. And she was trying to make us go again, like, right after without no breaks. And, with that, there's no water. You just basically drain. So he took the win, and I got second place again. So I told myself.
Once again, let me paint another picture. No purpose. No. You're not entering the competition. 2 years in a row, you come in second place. And let me tell you the people that she lost to, which is some of the top dancers in New York City right now. And like I said, I'm not blowing smoke. They're both former podcast guests. They're podcast guests because I totally respect the way they dance, but they are some of the best dancers in New York City right now. And you came in second place to them. So it's kind of like you went up against the world champions, and you may have lost, but you went up against the world champions, and you beat everybody else in the division.
Right.
And that is not purposely trying to go ahead and.
It's something that I work hard for, so I can brag. I worked. It is not even. I'm gonna tell you something. It's not easy going up against a bunch of people that can dance. Not only that, you have to freestyle. Things have to come from the top of your head. You have to be creative in every single round. And sometimes you're doing 1 round, and then you might go into 2 rounds. And if you don't know your music, you're not gonna win. You're not even gonna make it. And one thing that I do that a lot of people probably don't, I'm very, as far as like where I'm coming from, I'm very creative. I use everything around me. The last time I did it, I jumped off the table in front of Bling. He was one of the judges, and I literally leaped off the table, spinned and dropped in a split. So it was just like, when my adrenaline is rushing, I'm tunnel vision. I don't see nobody. I don't hear nothing. I just hear music. And that's how I'm looking at battles. And I also got the whole battle aspect from growing up in the hood with the flex dancers, because a lot of my friends are flex dancers. They do the battle fest thing, which is the whole hip hop flex scene. So I kind of was brought into. I was raised with wolves. You could basically say I was raised around wolves.
You are so lucky because, like, you're very lucky in that. Like, people would think about it, like, oh, that's so dangerous, that's so like grimy, that's so this, that's so that. But like I said, you're an encyclopedia almost of like this like battle dancing because you've grown up around it. Like I said, to come to second place to these two guys are some of the best. This is not no easy task.
It's really not, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself for making it that far. And then after that, I took a break from battling. I said I didn't want to do it no more because I just felt like I'm not gonna get. I don't want to do this to get second place again. Like, this is ridiculous now. So they've had it again, they were supposed to, but they didn't. But with that being said, I've always told myself that I wanted to either open up my own dance school or start my own brand. I'm already a brand, but then I created and started building Dancehall Powerhouse. And I got the name from the type of person that I am. I am a powerhouse by myself. I don't even need Katie half the time. I can just literally do things by myself, and that's where the name Powerhouse came from. Also, I wanted it to represent, if you could imagine a house and full of the baddest dancers inside of this house. Like, I step up when they was all living in that big, like, I don't need that loft. Like, that's how I look at Dancehall Powerhouse. It's every kind of type of woman. Right now, I'm just catering to females. When I get much bigger, I would then cater to men too. But right now, I'm just focusing, bringing in females, unifying them, letting them see how it is from my point of view.
So much to teach.
And
like I said, I'm so sorry. It's just like you say things and then it's just like
so much.
You have so much to teach because like with the people that you grew up around, but just the things that you've done. You have so much to teach. I am not blowing smoke. It's the truth. With all your experience, with going to different places to compete, winning battles, winning competitions. You said your house, like your mom has a ton of trophies of competitions that you've been in. Like you've been in the hunt, all this time. So you have so much to teach. Like I said, I put you in the same category with the Water Boots and with these other guys.
Right. I definitely agree with you on that. I do have a lot to teach. Not only that, I've created, like in Jamaica, they're also big on creating steps. Like the Willy Bounce is a step, and the Blase is a step. I created my own steps, and I incorporated my marching band skills with my dancehall skills. And the one biggest dance step that I created was a Diamond Touch. It went viral. Dope. It was a viral dance. It was a mixture of drum major style, and I put a little bit of whining in it, and the dance went viral. And after that, I just kept creating steps. And I think at one point, I was one of the only females out here, if I'm not mistaken, out in New York that were creating male and female steps. Like, I had my own name for both. Like, I had... The most exciting thing about this whole podcast is what I'm about to say. I actually raised money and took my butt all the way to Kenya, Africa.
Yeah, that happened this year or last year?
September last year.
Yeah, because like you are the only dancer that I know that's from New York that actually went ahead and did that. And how was that experience, and why did you do that?
Well, I did that because all the dancers from Jamaica and New York, the first thing they go to is Europe. The European countries, all those places, Germany, Sweden. Even though I have not made it there yet, and I'm planning to, but I felt like Africa was different. This. First of all, let me tell you something. Shout out to the whole dancehall community in Kenya, in Africa, period. Let me tell you something. The dancehall community in Kenya, because that's where I was at. Because a lot of them dance on social media. Their dancehall, they're not practicing basic dancehall. They do advanced dancehall. That even the girls, the guys are training them to do advanced. I think if they were come up here,
party?
No, they don't. They have parties, but their parties are way different. You can't. It's not like our parties. Like, no, they more focus on doing classes and doing videos. That's how they roll out there. But with Kenya now, they are so intertwined with advanced dancehall. They really don't know back to basics because they're so focused on gun moves and the fast footwork. Yeah, the fast footwork. So they mastered. I was learning from, one of my favorite ones, the person that I linked up with, his name is Must D, and he's in charge of 254 Dancehall Movement, and he's really, really sweet. I love that guy. His whole entire group is the bomb. That's who I stayed with out there, and they showed me everything. And let me tell you something, they are so humbled about the space they dance in. They are so humble. They charge like $1 or $2 to get in their classes, and it'd be like 50, 60 people in these classes. And it'd be from kids to adults. Like, they have so much fun, and they are so humbled. And I felt like if we moved like that out here and unify like that, they got their little here and there or whatever, but the way they move, I was just like, you need to bring some of that energy over here, because all you take is one flyer and you got the whole half of Kenya in your class. You know what I'm saying? From babies to girls to grandmas, and it was an experience to see that, to even be and feel the soil of the African soil. And
there's like a very connection.
I felt a really strong connection with just being out there, and I didn't even want to stay in a hotel. I stayed where he was staying with his group. I stayed for 7 days, and I just wanted that nitty gritty experience. I did not want the whole hotel. And
you sound kind of a girl that doesn't.
No, don't get me wrong. I like to be pampered, but I think when you go into Africa, you want to be in the safari. You want to see those type of things. That's the whole point of going over there. And I learned a lot from him. And I think that if they was to come over here, they would probably give some dancers a little run for their money, because you know what I'm saying? It will be smoke up in here. I would love to see that go down. So hopefully Must D, they get their stuff together, and I can actually bring them over, because I am planning on going back out there next year.
Like I said, you're the only one that I know doing that. That's so dope.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Things that but you're learning things that nobody, even in Jamaica or here, are doing, the way, wow, look at this move, the way you did it, because that's coming straight from there, you know what I mean, straight from their influences. So that really interests me, actually, wow, you dance so different, and I want to learn what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, going to Kenya was definitely an experience to me. Just the thought process of, damn, Charm is going to Africa.
Like I said,
it was just
it's one of those things that separates you, and I think the more things that separate you, you don't have to be they should respect me, this and that. Dude, look at my resume.
Right, and that's what I had to start looking at. I think I was putting myself down too much and not noticing that.
You're
you're
talented. I'm saying,
I was kind of beating up myself so much, because you had a whole bunch of dancers that were doing the same thing, going to Sweden, going here. I'm like, well, I never been there yet, but at the end of the day, there's DJs in Jamaica that know me. There's dancers that respect me. I got notoriety over Sweden and stuff. People been doing my dances, sending me videos doing my dances. I got people in Africa sending me videos. Those people, they could not wait to meet me. They were so excited when I came there. It was like a celebrity.
How did you make that initial link with them?
Must D, I seen his work on Instagram, and I was like, yo, you are a beast. And that's how we connected from there. And when me and him connected, a lot of more his people started adding me, following me. I started following them, and just to see how they was picking up steps and how he teach them, I was like, nah, I gotta come out there. That's on my bucket list. And then one day I was just like, yo, I'm gonna make a GoFundMe page to see if people would donate, and I did.
And that alone is impressive, because we both know a lot of people who start that and they get nothing. I think that alone is very impressive.
Yeah, somebody donated money to me, $1,000 to me. Wow. Without me knowing. I didn't know who it was, and that's how I ended up going, and I put more money with it and booked my flight, and I was out there. It was a major experience for me.
The way you describe it, it really sounds like one of those things you'll never forget.
Right. That definitely, you know, I brought home souvenirs. Like, I was going to bring home some sand because the dirt out there is red. It's not brown like out here. Everything is like rich. So like, I mean, I had to go through some tests before I left, get some injections and stuff. I had to go through a whole yellow fever process, but it was definitely worth it. It's a long flight. I recommend if anybody ever go to Africa, get an overnight flight so you can sleep through the night and wake up in the day and you'll be there. So, with that being said, you know, he respect me so much that he told me to come over. I went over.
So you were like a celebrity over there.
Yeah, and he looks up to a lot of people. Like Bling is his favorite dancer. You have me, and you have other people that he looks up to. So like, I'm hoping that one day we could bring some of them over here so they can experience, you know, this lifestyle. Because everything over here will be so brand new to them. Everything over there, they can't dance on. They can't dance on the weekday. They can only dance and shoot videos on Sundays. Why? Because those are business days. So the cops don't want them dancing in the middle of the street, stopping flow. So they have it different.
And did you go to any parties when you were out there?
Yeah, but the parties out there are basically when you come in, you have to order something to drink. And if you order like an orange juice and it's done, you have to leave or you have to order another one. Wow. Yeah, I didn't really go to one where they had a club and they were dancing. We didn't get to do so much stuff because I was getting pulled left and right. But again, they do. I didn't end up going. I didn't even get to see the safari. But it was like I said, I'm planning on going back next year. Hopefully, if I'm alive, I'm going to go back and coronavirus doesn't attack us all. So, like, other than that, like, my dancehall powerhouse reflects on all of that, unifying people from all over the world. And I feel like we need more of just, like, they have pyrotechs, and then you have, you know, Tara got her brand going on, Cookie got her brand. You know, I felt like something is missing in this. We need more. There needs to be more mid-school stuff, more old-school stuff. Somebody that actually was there. So that's what Dancehall Powerhouse is about. Just my creativity coming out to the light. That's basically what it is. And getting and I bring in beginners. I don't even care if you don't have experience because I can teach so well. I can turn you into somebody that's been dancing for a long time. So my vision with my Dancehall Powerhouse is just to see it go further. Right now, I'm working on doing the trademark and the LLC and my logo to make it super official. It takes time because it's a lot of money. I am working on, I was trying to do a summer camp. I am going to do a summer camp for girls. 7 days intensive summer camp. Cool. And have like 4 or 5 teachers. And I'll notice I'm doing all of this by myself. So the people that I connect with are genuinely gravitating to me. It's not like I'm saying, you say, I want you to work with me. I want you to work. No, these people, the couple of females that I have, like Energy, Daniela, Chip, you know, even DHQ Velvet, these people have been in my corner with this whole situation since I started talking about it. And everybody brings their own craft to the table. Like Daniela, she does cake and makeup. So if, like, I just had a Valentine's Day class, she made the cupcakes. So everybody have their own job to do. So like when this becomes an official brand and company for me, I will already have people that I'm working with. I don't want nobody to feel like they work under me or anything. I want us to be, it's a big family, and that's what we need in New York right now, because at some point I felt like this thing was falling apart. Everybody was cliquey. Nobody didn't want to go to his class because I don't talk to him. Nobody don't want to go to that class because I don't talk to, and trust me, you still got beef out here. Just because, you know, it's everybody dances here don't mean everybody like each other. So that's normal, but still, like, ever since I started Dancehall Powerhouse, a lot of people genuinely been like, Charm, like, don't stop. Please don't stop.
You got fans. You know, what I wanted to, like, I was thinking when you were talking, like, we're lucky, you know, I know you said that, like, you think they got it so easy, you know, in terms of, like, the new people, because it's a lot more studio stuff, but I will tell you that listening to you talk and just kind of connecting the dots in my mind, we're lucky to have you, to have Bling, like, because Bling, like, he does this whole, like, DH evolution thing where he like gives like talks and talks about the history of dancehall. But he's someone who's been dancing a very long time, like the 15, 16 years, such as yourself. I'm talking about like in our running around in our circles, and so are you. So like you two are people that are doing something different, where you like have all this experience, and like.
What's the point in keeping it to yourself?
Yeah,
It's time to share it. He even told me it's time to share your knowledge with everybody else. Like, and I actually respect the fact that he's doing the whole. It's like a college course.
Dude, I think that's fantastic. Because like the only person that I know who does what he's doing is Orville Expressions. And I've gone to the Dancehall Dream Camp, and I've heard Orville speak. And Bling is the only other person who gives a history of things. But what I'm trying to say is like, because of this new generation and because of it being in so much studio, like, we're lucky to have you because, like I said, of what you know and your vast knowledge of the people that you grew up with and everything, and about you can teach about competitions, what you can, even this whole process that you're going through now in terms of trademarking a business and stuff like that. A student can come up to you and be like, Charm, I want to do X, Y, Z. How can I do it? And you be like, okay, this is the map because I did it. So we're lucky to have veterans like you and him who've been dancing a long time, teaching and in the studios and stuff like that. Because, like I told you, my dream would be like that the people that we came up with, that they would be teaching, because they have so much to teach. But we have two incredible teachers right now between you and him. And I'm not discounting all the other dancers that are out there, like King Kayak or Corey Genius, or they're
It's just that me and Bling are kind of around the same age. And
you're older, yeah.
We're older. So, things will feel different coming from us when it comes to the knowledge of certain things. Like, I'm not teaching basic, history, but I definitely do install in the females a brief history every time we dance. And actually, I'm thinking about doing that as far as the female history goes.
I think what you said... just paint the picture here with me. Like what you said, you can be the person who teaches about New York dancing, because there is no one that's doing that, and that will be like.
Yeah, because Bling got I'm not Jamaican, so I will even be learning from Bling. I wasn't born in Jamaica. I actually learning myself. So it's like me going to college and I graduated, so I'm certified to teach, but. When it comes to New York City dancehall, that's what I
would love that. I really would love that. I think I would just come to hear you talk about that. Yeah, I would love that.
That's an idea. I might just do a pop-up class and just do that and have people just come, and I would bring in like people like Adam, Siren.
Oh my God, that'd be fantastic.
Boots, Bugsy. I got Bingy's contact. I still got a lot of people contact. So don't think, Nika French,
'Cause I think that's so, like this, I'm telling you, what you said, I've never thought of it from that angle. I think there's so much that you can mine from that, I've never given up the respect, because, as dancers, especially not being Jamaican, you're always like, you got to pay respect to the culture, you got to pay respect to Jamaica. But I love what you said to that, because, like I said, I've never thought of that, and I think that could be your unique selling point, 100%.
Like, it's definitely two different worlds. Like, I love and respect the Jamaican dancehall culture, and yes, we learn a lot from them, and we take what they show and we work with it. But New York City has its own history, and that's one thing people have to respect, that we have our own Bible. There's you can't go around it. We have our own OGs. We have our own.
It's like a mixture of dancehall. It's like a mixture of hip hop and like these things, flexing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have
rock up and flexing.
Yes, you have people that been in this game that is performing with Beyonce now. You got people from New York City dancehall that's on tour with celebrities now, and nobody would never know because nobody speaks about New York City dancehall like they should. So now when they see people like for instance, sometimes I get annoyed because it's like the first thing people think of is this small group of people in New York, which is fine, but it's bigger than that group of people. It's way bigger than that group of people, and you would know that if people were explaining it right. You would know that if people were, letting them know like, hey, this is bigger than me. I have and one thing that I did learn, which is funny, there are a lot of dancers out here
We haven't even talked about the Queen's dancers, by the way.
There are like dancers out here that would give me my props, but they won't let me know that they rate me at a high level for some reason.
What else is new? It's just like it's an ego thing.
Yeah, a lot of people have like big egos. It's just weird. But I think now being who I am and actually I've been convinced myself to just live with it. I live with it now. Like, I don't care no more because Charm is doing her own thing. Charm is different from everybody else. I don't do the same thing everybody else does. I'm like a freaking weirdo. I will take a simple thing and make it so big. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I am. And that's what people love about me because I'm a realist. Like, I have stuff to lose, but I don't have nothing to lose because I did my time. I'm adding on to my time right now. So I don't have to keep going. I could stop and take care.
You love it.
Yeah, I'm a manager at my job, Equinox. You know, I work with kids. That's my other special talent that I have. I work really well with kids. So, like, I don't have to keep going. I could stop, but this is my passion. This is what keeps me happy. This is what keeps me going. And I like having a class or doing something for people, and they leaving feeling like, oh, my God, Charm. Wow. Like, my Valentine's Day class. Woo, boy. It was spicy. Like, to just do that, and a lot of females weren't really feeling confident and coming out and being sexy because they're so used to either, you know, winding up, jumping up in splits, or doing the gunman. But this time I actually brought that sexual side out.
We need more.
Yeah, they harass me every day. When are you having another class? What is going on?
Charm, those are your raving fans. Those are the ones that you having a class? Here's my money. Take my money. I don't even just take my money.
One person that I definitely want to give the biggest shout out to is Leo. God rest her soul. She just passed away. Well, last week we lost a dancer who was always supporting me. She was one person that felt like I wasn't getting the respect that I deserve. And she always, always, always had my back. The last class she did was my Valentine's Day class. And the first person to sign up for the last class I had after that was her. She was the first one to buy a ticket. So, unfortunately, she didn't make it. And, you know.
She's super young. Like, how old is she?
She was like 36. But she didn't look it. She looked like she was 27, you know. But, you know, she was dealing with a lot. And she still supported everybody and still came out to everybody's class. So even like in my battles, one thing she didn't do for everybody knows Leo for is after class, Leo will send you your footage. She would send everybody footage. And I have battles that I did. Leo was the one Leo gave me my footage, and you could hear her in the background. Yes, Charm. Yes, go off. So like, you know, from here on out, like I take her with me. You know, I take her with me. Anytime I'm doing anything dealing with dance and dance hall, her spirit is definitely there with us. And, you know, it's sad that we had to see her go so soon. But, like, we had to keep going for her. I did a class, and we dedicated the class to her. And it was just really, really fun. So, like, this 2020 has been a year.
You know, and we're wrapping up. You've been so gracious with your time. It's almost been an hour, so thank you so much for that. And you've been amazing, really. You know, that whole thing, even with like her passing at the age of 36, so young, like it puts the whole thing of ego in perspective. When we're like with dancing, we're raised kind of with ego, like don't show the person, you know, that you respect them or you rate them and stuff like that. And I still suffer from that even now to this day, but. You know, we're going to die. You know what I'm saying? And somebody that you respect or you think is awesome or you really, you know, like think that they're great. Like, dude, like tell them, like, dude, I think you're amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't restrict your love. You know, like give your love. Your love is to be given. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people can't reciprocate love and receive it because they don't know how to. But one thing I will say before we go is that I just want to see more unity. I just want to see people actually being more genuine with each other, and don't make other people feel like, oh, because I have 10K, 20K, 30K followers, I'm better than you. Because it doesn't mean anything. Because I have 6,000 and I would get more comments and views than somebody that have 20K followers. It's about being genuine, and that genuineness just gravitates to other people. And just, you know, New York City Dancehall needs to just come together a bit more. stop focusing on this one group of people and look at it as a bigger picture. And hopefully one day we could get a vet dance class with all the vets, or a party, or a reunion.
I would love that.
And it will be just to show, like, just to have a showcase of all, like, because Ground Zero, they trying to come back a little bit now, and they have their own style of dancing. So I hope that before I die off this planet, that something like that will happen. Even if I gotta construct it myself, I'm gonna make it. It's gonna happen.
So just wrapping up, I just had a few more questions. There's been times that I've known you over the years that you have faced like some serious adversity, like either you were maybe sick at one point, or you had like issues at home, like we all have had. But today you're here, 2020, you're very positive, and the things that you're surrounding yourself with in terms of like these fans and these classes and they're like your work, and you have your beautiful daughter, like these are all positive things. Would you say that your life is just like it's in a better place now than it was in the past?
Yeah, I lost my dad. I tore my meniscus. I cracked my tibia. I was going through like a lot of people go through depression, anxiety, but I fought through that shit. I did not feel like dancing no more at one point. I wanted to stop because I felt like nobody was respecting me, and a lot of people was like, "No, don't." One thing that I did learn,
you're too talented.
Yeah, from Will Smith. Will Smith was like, being on your own and living your own dreams sometimes is lonely, is dangerous, is everything in one pursuit. And I learned that the hard way, that everybody's not going to be there to support you, that you want to support you, but you have people in your corner. So I had to learn, stop looking for support. It will come. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm on a more positive aspect now. I have my girls who keep me grounded. I have my best friend, Katie, who keeps me grounded. And there are days that I'm like, yo, this is overwhelming. And one thing I must say, in order for you to see your product work, you have to invest in yourself. There are going to be days that you're going to be broke as hell. I spend so much money. I do things over the top. My friend was just like, why are you doing all this? Because I want the people to leave that room feeling like they paid their money for something. I do a little bit more, and that's the Virgo in me. I have a very big heart. So you invest in yourself if you want to see your stuff work. And I respect myself so much because I'm doing this alone. I don't ask anybody for anything, but I had to start learning how to be like, hey, help me out.
Dude, like you're gonna get further with asking for help. Right. You can only get so far with going by yourself,
Yeah. So those are things that I had to. Those are toxic traits that I had to learn. A lot of people don't like asking for help, but I had to learn. Like, if God is telling this person, Charm, let me help you. Let's let them help you, and that's one thing that I did learn. Other than that, I hope the rest of 2020 is a positive, good year for Dancehall Powerhouse. Everything has been flowing. I didn't put out any work for myself yet because I've been so focusing on everybody that I took a month off to do my own projects, but then Leo passed and then we did a class. So it just flipped everything. But now I'm going to be putting out work for myself, and we'll see where everything goes. Hopefully we have a dope summer and big things happen for everybody for 2020, not just me. I just want to see the whole dancehall community eat food and making money, and we just come together,
Final question. I think I may have asked you this before privately, but you're a mom. You have a beautiful little daughter, and does she want to dance? Does she have a dancing bug in her, or maybe not?
Her father is a DJ. And I'm a dancer. I grew up around music. She is around music, so she's into music. Right now, she's only 9. She'll be 10 this year in September. She likes
Virgo too. She's a Virgo.
Yeah, we all Virgos. Her father is a Virgo too. Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm a Virgo as well.
There's a lot of Virgos, but she right now I don't know what she wants to do. These kids nowadays, they don't play outside like they used to, so they're more into YouTube, Roblox, TikTok. She is obsessed with Roblox and things like that. So I'm not forcing her. She has a whole bunch of years to figure out. She does love dancing, but she's not really pushing. She's not really one of those dance kids like, Mom, I want to dance. Let's put me in this audition. I'm not doing that with her because I don't want her, even though she's going to have to, whatever she chooses to do, I don't want her to experience the things I did dealing with this dancehall, because that's when you see mama mode come out. But I try to keep her away from some of that negative energy, because she's still baby and she doesn't know how to take it like I would. So right now she's just being a kid, living her life. I'm trying to keep her grades up. Her dad moved to Florida, so I am a single parent, and it's hard to juggle dancing, me being a manager and my daughter. It is hard, but I make it happen. And that's why I rate myself so much, because this is not an easy thing to do. So.
Well, we're going to wrap it up there. And which way can people reach you?
You can find me on Facebook at Cherie, DHQ Charm Clark. And on
How do you spell Cherie?
Shari, and Clark is Clarke. If you want to find me on Instagram, it is DHQ_Charm, straight like that. And I do have a YouTube channel. It's DHQ Charm. Once you type that in, I am the only person that will come up as DHQ Charm. So those are the 3 ways you can find me if you ever want to get in contact with me.
All right, that's the episode. If you like this content in terms of my interviewing dancers and choreographers on this playlist here on YouTube, you're going to find other videos, other interviews I've done with other dancers talking about networking, talking about making a living being a choreographer in New York City. And I think there's really some great and inspirational stories that can go ahead and maybe give you some tips, some ideas as to go, if you wanted to make the transition from, let's say, social dancer to choreographer to a paid dancer, paid choreographer, definitely. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for watching. And likes are great, thumbs up are great, subscribers are great, but I always prefer if you go ahead and comment down below your thoughts. I'd rather start a conversation and get your feedback, definitely. My name is Paul V. Perez. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And we are out.